Hey, sup? I'm Pale Kale and welcome back to Beauty and B Movies with me. Today, we are going to be talking about a classic. For a mere $35,000 budget, behold the tale of two brothers torn apart and seeking vengeance on the bastards responsible. Today we're talking about Basket Case. I don't really want to tell you exactly what the plot is because I don't want to give anything away, but Basket Case is a wild ride, and that's all I'm going to say about it. It gives us some insight into early 1980s New York, very gritty, grimy, underground type of scene, and a tale of revenge. Let's put it that way. I think that's a good place to start. If you'd like to see me talk about Basket Case and do a little warm, bronzy moment with my makeup, keep on watching. Fair warning with this video, there is talk of like sexual assault towards the very end, so if that's gonna bother you, you could watch most of the video and then skip over that, or you could just skip this one and come back in 2 weeks when I have another review for you. Whatever floats your scrote, am I right? I'm gonna just add a little fragrance. This is the Noise Fragrance Only Human. I have not used this one yet, I just got it. Oh, that's real nice. Oh, we got two kitties in the frame today. Fig and Clover. They're probably hot because my air is turned off right now while I film. Stay tuned to hear me talk about Basket Case, to do a little bit of makeup, and to sweat my balls off because it's like 90 degrees today. Gotta love summer. I just want to say at the top of this, today's going to be an interesting day because one, I have not gone through my notes or script, and then two, I don't really know what I'm doing with my makeup. So let's get into Basket Case. Makeup wise, I think I'm gonna do like warm bronzy tones, which I never fucking do. I want to do something different today. I'm gonna do like warm bronzy, kind of warm neutrals. Again, you can tell that I'm like coming up with it on the spot. Let's prime our face, shall we? This is like the glowy primer from Covergirl. I never see anybody talk about Covergirl, and everything I've tried from them has been very good, so I don't know what to do with that information, but sure. It's cheaper product, but this is giving my face a glow, so like, who can complain in this economy? Anyway, let's get into Basket Case. So we open our film with this guy. His name's Dr. Lifflander, and he seems to be being stalked by some unseen entity right at the top of the movie. So he tries to call the police, but the phone lines and the power go out, so that's not good, right? Oh God, no! Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. So Lifflander gets murdered by the unseen entity, so hello, goodbye, I guess. Rip. Next we cut to 1980s New York City. It's a very gritty, seedy kind of feel. Honestly, to me, it was very stressful. No judgment or anything, but I could never live in New York City. Like, I know myself, I just feel like I would be so stressed out constantly. Anyway, so we meet Dwayne Bradley, this little curly-headed fuck, and he's carrying around a wicker basket with him, and don't be fooled. There's no picnic supplies in that basket. Dwayne comes across this very respectable motel, and I say respectable motel because I'm quoting the motel manager. Those are his words, not mine.
And I don't want no junkies in here because this is a respectable hotel.
The hotel manager also utters almost my favorite line from cinema.
What's in the basket?
So close. Where's Gwyneth Paltrow's severed head when you need it? Probably drinking bone broth. So Dwayne and his mullet take their mystery box, or I guess I should say mystery basket, up to room 7, past a very strange and oversharing neighbor.
She paid her bill and left. No one's heard from her since.
And down the hall from Casey, who is a sex worker and has some iconic makeup looks in this film. We will see a lot more from her, but for right now, he just kind of catches a glimpse of her as he passes her on his way to get to his room. After Dwayne kind of gets settled and everything, he sets his basket down. He runs across the street by himself, not with the basket. That's important. Doesn't seem like it now, but it will be important. Runs across the street and grabs like a shitload of fast food, comes back. At first, he starts unwrapping the burgers and tossing them into the basket, and you kind of hear somebody munching inside the basket, so like something alive in there.
Take your time, there's plenty.
all I could think of is Danny DeVito and Matilda when he goes, chew your food, you're an animal.
Chew your food, you're an animal.
So later that night, Dwayne is kind of laying in his bed, you know, he's all curled up with his little mullet, and you can see him kind of telepathically communicating with whatever is in the box. It seems at first like he's talking to himself. People who talk to themselves, I think, are actually very sane. I talk to myself all the time, doing it right now, technically. He is sane in the membrane. He is chatting with somebody. It's just telepathically. You know how it is. So in the next scene, there's some guy peeping outside of Dwayne's hotel room. They call him O'Donovan. He's just like a drunk that lives in the hotel. I thought this was kind of confusing because it's a motel, not an apartment complex, but these people seem to live there, or they at least stay there for really extended periods of time. I don't know. How normal is that? I didn't realize that was a thing, I guess. I thought it was like a temporary situation, but hey, whatever works for you, man. I don't know. Anyway, this guy O'Donovan, he's a drunk. He seems to live in or frequent the motel. He saw when Dwayne was paying for his room, he kind of pulled out like a wad of Benjamins. And this guy's like, I could use a couple of Benjamins. So he's kind of snooping outside Dwayne's room. He wants to steal from him, essentially. And Casey, the sex worker from earlier, she kind of sees that and shoos him away. She's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you doing? She's kind of hip to his game. And she knocks on the door because, you know, Casey's a real one. Spoiler alert, we've already met my favorite character of the film. It's Casey. We love her. We see her. We cherish her. We believe in her. She is the moment. Now, come on now. So Casey knocks on the door to let Dwayne know, hey, this is the skinny. This is what's going on. I love Casey because she really tells it like it is, you know?
Dwayne Bradley.
Nice meeting you, Dwayne Bradley. What the hell are you doing this dump?
Casey also seems to have her priorities straight, which is always a good thing.
Listen, we'll have to go for a drink sometime.
Okay, sure.
Catch you later, kid. Bye.
See? She's a good time gal. I'd hang out with her. After Casey splits, Dwayne heads to the office of Dr. Needleman, where he meets Dr. Needleman's secretary, Sharon, a girl with a real head on her shoulders. God, that is a wiggy wig. It's worse than the wig from the Funhouse Massacre. Remember that in the beginning of the film, that like horrible $15 CVS wig? If you haven't seen my review on the Funhouse Massacre, you can find it here. So anyway, our poorly wigged friend is also a real one and tells Dwayne, you know what, we'll just lie and say that you had an appointment, because technically Dr. Needleman doesn't really see patients unless they have an appointment, but she's like, you know what, we'll squeeze you in, we'll say that you had an appointment. I can't wink. I don't know how people do that. Do people still wink? Is that like a thing? I don't know. She also like falsifies records for him. I feel like you can't do that. I don't know. I don't work at a doctor's office. She like lies about his name because he tells her, oh, Dr. Needleman's an old family friend. I want to like surprise him. Oh, fun, quirky. And he's like, just put down like whatever last name. Put down like Smith or something. Is anyone's last name even Smith anymore? Like it's just for alias purposes at this point. And yes, I know it's a joke. I know that Smith is like the most common last name or whatever. She gets him in to see Dr. Needleman. She also asks the age-old question, of course.
What's in the basket? Easter eggs?
We're getting a little further from what's in the box, but you know what? I appreciate the creativity. I'm gonna start kind of sculpting this brow. I did both my brows off camera. I just wanted to get them done. I hate doing brows on camera. They never look good when I do them that way. Anyway, Sharon pretty quickly takes a liking to Dwayne, and she kind of offers to show him around the Big Apple. And I mean, who could refuse an offer from this woman? That wig. I feel like the guy from SpongeBob that when they're like, bald, bald, and he's like, my eyes. There's no time to think about that because we have 1980s Steve Buscemi to me.
Oh, man.
So this is Dr. Needleman, who messily eats pizza at his desk while he's actively practicing. Seems legit. He's also low-key kind of creepy. Like, what kind of office is this? He tells Dwayne to take his shirt off, and he's kind of like, take your shirt off over there.
Why don't you put whatever that is down, take off your shirt, step in there, have a seat.
Anyway, Dwayne doesn't really care about how creepy Needleman is, so he goes and sits on the table, takes his shirt off, and we see a very long scar on his side. I mean, it looks like it's made out of paper mache, but hey, 80s. And I know the scar thing doesn't seem like it would be that relevant, but don't you worry, it will come back. Okay, this is where the rubber kind of meets the road, because till this point I've had a plan, now I low-key do not. So let's see what I can do. I'm gonna use this the Melt. It's one of the little stackers. I used it in I think it was me opening the mystery box from Melt Cosmetics. You can also check that out here if you want to see me unboxing a couple of products, talking about some of my favorites from the brand Melt. Well, I did get this. I literally have not used this since that video. I just find the stacker thing is like, it's probably convenient for you if you're like a no makeup type of person and you just want like maybe 2 shadows to quickly like use whatever. I'm used to a palette. Obviously no makeup and we've never met before. Very well aware that I wear about, 15 pounds of makeup on my face, and that is on purpose, in case you were wondering. I want to see what I can do with this one. But anyway, so Dwayne heads out and Sharon tries to hit on him again, and he's kind of like, no way, not with that wig.
I get off here tonight at 7. Hint, hint.
I'd like to, but I can't. Not tonight.
Can't say I didn't try.
He does get her digits before he leaves though, so I guess the wig wasn't that bad. He was like, honestly, it's fine. He like shuffles over, he puts the box in the corner and then walks over, quietly makes plans with her for the next day, and then he's on his way with his box. Done. Can you imagine? Oh my god. No. Okay, back in Dr. Needleman's office, he gives a call to another doctor named Dr. Cutter, who I thought was Sigourney Weaver. But it wouldn't make sense because around this time, Sigourney Weaver was way younger than this woman. But doesn't this woman look like Sigourney Weaver around like Holes era or something? Maybe a little after that. I don't know. I thought they looked really similar. So she's not Sigourney Weaver, but she is, however, having a very weird, creepy dinner with this guy. He seems to be like 19 or something, no?
That was delicious.
So are you.
I need more information. This feels like it low-key might be grooming.
If I have any more, I'm liable to.
That's all right. I like you drunk. You're cute when you slobber.
Yeah, something ain't right here. He's cute when he slobbers. What is he, a Saint Bernard? Anyway, the doctors talk and Needleman's very stressed out. He tells Dr. Cutter about Dwayne's visit. Dr. Cutter's like, we don't know him. Deny everything. So clearly they have some kind of past with Dwayne and his basket. In this phone call conversation, Dr. Needleman mentions Dr. Lifflander, remember from the top of the film? I guess the 3 of them had worked together secretly, and now they're talking about how Dr. Lifflander is dead. So I wonder what the thread is that ties all these 3 together. I think we're gonna find out. What do we want to do here? What direction do we want to take this in? I think I kind of want to do like some sort of brown wing. So later that day, after Needleman's office closes, Dwayne and his basket head back to the office, and Dwayne kind of waits outside. He empties the contents of the basket, whoever's in there. They head into Needleman's office, and Needleman gets paid a visit by the inhabitant of Dwayne's basket. So that is Belial, Dwayne's conjoined twin, who was surgically removed from him by Needleman and his fellow doctors, Cutter and Lifflander. That's the connection between the 3 of them. Remember how I said that we would find that out? Remember that? You remember that? Yeah, that's how this whole thing is entangled and meshed. I feel like enmeshed is a kind of a gross word, but anyway, that is Belial. Belial kind of moves around using his arms, and he attacks Dr. Needleman. Yeah, it's actually pretty gruesome. Belial ain't fucking around. Like, he's pissed. He's not happy with these doctors. So he rips Needleman apart, and he even steals Needleman's address book. Because, back in the day before cell phones, back in the day, people had address books with everybody's. It's like your contacts app on your cell phone, basically, for people who were born after the millennium. Belial scoots on out of there. Him and Dwayne head home, and they're getting ready to look up Dr. Cutter, the Mrs. Robinson from earlier earlier, who is, you know, the one who likes slobber or whatever. They want to track her down next because they already got Lifflander and now they got Needleman, so it's time to look up good old Dr. Cutter. I'm gonna be doing some wings today, so if they're uneven, please don't kill me. Please don't come after me, Belial. I'm so sorry. Okay, I kind of played with it a little bit. I know the wing's probably gonna be kind of hard to see, but it is what it is. So the next day, Dwayne meets up with Sharon to kind of, you know, go sightsee, check out the Big Apple for himself. He leaves Belial and his basket back in his room because nothing cock blocks you like your conjoined twin brother on a murderous rampage. Plus, I'm sure that Dwayne just wants some time to himself and he's stoked to have found someone with a more challenging haircut than his. She even gives him the "you're not like other guys" speech.
I know an awful lot of guys, Dwayne. But you're different.
But while Dwayne is living it up, macking on sweet Sharon's face, Belial senses it. They have like telepathy. They can sense each other's like what's going on or like their strong emotions, I guess. Belial senses it and he goes ballistic. He's pissed. He's like ripping shit apart. He's throwing things at wall. It's quite a scene to behold because it's done partially in stop motion, and the stop motion is yeah, I know, right? What the fuck are we watching at this point? I'm gonna try to do this other wing on camera. We'll see if that happens. I feel like they look pretty even. Whether or not they look good, that's another story. I'm using the liquid. It's one of the Makeup by Mario shadows. It's really good for creating like a wing, like creating like a liquid liner type of look. I know it's a liquid shadow, but I find liquid shadows kind of hard to work with, to be honest with you. Maybe it's because I have hooded eyes, but I find them difficult to work with, so usually I use them as eyeliner. I think they work a little bit better that way. So Belial is wigging out. He's obviously very loud, so people come running in the hotel. They're like, what's the commotion? They run in, and as they run in, Belial has time to kind of slink back into his basket and hide. The nosy neighbors and the building manager, they're trying to check it out and see what's going on because it sounded like somebody's screaming and fighting and like causing chaos. They look around, they can't find anything, and you know, I mean, what's the motel manager gonna do?
Look, if this happens again, I don't know. What do I know? I don't even run the place. Why should anybody tell me anything? I don't know nothing.
I love this. This is like the 1982 version of, I don't know, I just work here. I say that all the fucking time, so I really enjoyed that. I partially want to do glitter on the lid. I'm gonna do my Urban Decay, this little guy, the Moon Dust. I might even top it with the powder and then do the liquid over it. Yeah, we're gonna do Space Cowboy. It's so 2017 too. Probably should have done this before I did liner, but I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I didn't really have a plan today. Yeah, and then we'll just kind of punch some glitter in there and hope for the best. Yeah, that's like nothing. Go on, girl, give us nothing. Let's try to save it with the glitter on top. It's something. So old Donovan, remember him from earlier, the like drunk guy who likes to steal? He kind of comes sneaking around doing his little like trying to find that money that he saw Dwayne holding on to. And he finds the money, he snatches that, but O'Donovan gets a little greedy and he wants to know what's in the basket. He wants to know what's in the basket. So he opens it up and he sure does find out. Yeah, he's looking for cash, but all he finds is a bloodthirsty Belial. Belial attacks him because, you know, murder's like kind of his thing at this point, obviously. He really rips his face apart. It's pretty gruesome. The gore in this was, I wasn't mad at it. It's mostly just like really, really red blood, but they did what they could with the budget they had, and I appreciate that. Belial kind of is ripping O'Donovan apart, and as this is happening, Dwayne kind of senses this, again, telepathically. They can sense each other's strong emotions, and I found this confusing because like, wouldn't he have sensed Belial's tantrum earlier. If he senses his strong emotions, maybe it's just murder, but Belial sensed him making out with Sharon. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are, man. Hey, twins are kind of weird. I mean, look at Dwayne's telepathy face. Look who came to join us. Oh, he's feeling camera shy. He's not sure about his hair. Tell him that his hair looks good. Look at it, baby. Such a handsome boy. That was what I needed to kick me back into high gear. Okay. Let's do it. Let's talk Belial. So after Belial kills O'Donovan, obviously the cops show up because they hear noises and they find O'Donovan's body. Dwayne kind of runs home because he sensed obviously that something was going on with Belial. So he runs in, looks super suspicious immediately. He's like really bad at lying, and the cops are kind of questioning him. They ask him what's in the basket. They check the basket and they find nothing.
Wayne, right before the murder, some of the tenants claimed to have heard noises coming from this room. Any idea who it was?
No, I don't know. I was out. That was an accident. It happened last night. We went out for burgers and...
We?
No. Me. Just me.
I will say, I gotta love the suspense here.
What's in the basket?
Nothing?
Luckily, Belial had the sense to hide, and he hid in the toilet, so gross. Feel kind of bad for Belial. He's just like sitting on the toilet at this part, and it's just, this is a crazy movie. I mean, what are we looking at here? So after all of the conflama, Dwayne heads out to a dive bar. He's like, I've had enough of this. I need a drink. A cool, tall drink.
Young man, you come with me. We're gonna have a nice, tall, cool drink.
At the dive bar, Dwayne runs into our girl Casey, who is effervescent as ever.
You come here often?
I don't even drink.
That's obvious.
I know I already mentioned it, but I fucking love Casey, dude. She seems like such a party.
I'm so messed up about a lot of things. I don't know what's going on anymore.
I've got some heavy boozing to do. It looks like you can use some good company. Come on.
Like I said, she's a good time gal. And I'm a good time Gil. We should get together. If you're wondering why I said good time Gil, Gil is part of my last name, and a lot of my friends call me Gil. And yeah, that's it. That's the whole story. So anyway, Dwayne and Casey get hammered, and Dwayne kind of starts telling her the truth about Belial. He's giving her kind of the lowdown. At first, they're just like yucking it up laughing, and she kind of isn't really taking him seriously. Then she kind of starts to realize how serious he is. Dwayne has this to say about Belial.
A freak! It looks like a squashed octopus! Our mother died giving birth to us.
Wow, Dwayne, that's kind of fucked up. They missed an opportunity for Belial to like jump out of his basket here and be like, yeah, well, you look like Miley Cyrus's boyfriend. So as Dwayne is confessing about Belial to Casey, he passes out because, like you said earlier, he doesn't drink. So he passes out, you know, happens to the best of them, Dwayne. I get it. And we get a flashback montage of Belial and Dwayne's history. So Belial and Dwayne were conjoined at the side, which makes sense with Dwayne's paper mache scar on his side, remember? They were conjoined at the side, and their mom died in childbirth, giving birth to them. And the dad took that super well.
My wife died. After they tell me my child is a twisted lump of flesh, then she tells me I need two names for it. One for the child and one for the monster. As if I had two sons instead of one freak. It killed its own mother!
This is a side note here, but I hate this plot line. They did it in Gossip Girl too. The whole like, oh, the mom died in childbirth, so now the dad like resents the child and hates them their whole life. Does that actually happen? If it does, that's so fucked up. The baby like purposely killed its mom. Like what? I hate that whole thing. It's stupid to me. Anyway, it's not important. Because the dad is a piece of shit, Dwayne and Belial are raised by their aunt away from outsiders. And unfortunately for them, their aunt like goes on a trip or something. It's not really talked about a ton, but while she's gone, the dad decides that he is going to get together with a couple of doctors. Can you guess which ones? Cutter, Lifflander, Needleman, all of them. He gets together with them and is like, we are cutting them apart. So the dad really doesn't accept Belial as a son. He just thinks of Belial as not human. He just thinks of him as a deformity. And he even says that Belial would be better off dead than being like either attached to Dwayne or trying to live on his own.
Talking about your child.
Child? Dwayne is my child, not that other thing. All I want is Dwayne to be normal. It's too late to change the other one. Just cut Dwayne from it.
Kind of heavy, man. I was like, damn, this dad is a little intense. So they knock the boys out, they drug them, they hold them down, and they decide that they are going to perform a Belial removal. And the surgery scene is super chaotic.
Like, okay, hold him. All right.
Later on that night, Dwayne wakes up from the surgery and he realizes that Belial has been removed from his side. He kind of telepathically hears Belial. He runs outside to find him and Belial's just like thrown in the trash. God, this dad is terrible. He's been living as your son all this time and you just throw him in the trash. Like you couldn't have even buried him. Like, god damn. You just see how little regard the dad has for Belial's life. I felt bad for Belial at this point. Poor Belial, suddenly the mass murder kind of makes sense. And if you're wondering, are we gonna get any more murder? You came to the right place. So Belial and Dwayne, they go into like the basement of the house and they create this big like mechanism. I don't really know what it, I mean, it looks like straight out of a Saw movie. It's basically a saw trap. The thing rolls down, kills the dad, literally cuts him in half, which I thought was pretty gnarly. The dad's dead. I didn't really feel bad for him personally after the way that he like threw away his son. I was like, meh, what are you gonna do? So the aunt comes back from her trip and she's kind of like, I don't know nothing. She's kind of gonna look the other way because the way that the dad treated Belial and kind of Dwayne too was pretty terrible. So she's like, I will raise both of you as my own kids. The police think that Belial died, so no one's even really looking for him. So it's kind of like ideal, I guess. So the aunt decides she's gonna raise the boys as her own. And I actually thought this was kind of sweet. There's like this scene of her reading poetry or like a book or something to them. And she has like Belial in a little balanky and it's just like, it's cute. So the aunt has become their guardian, and then when she dies, the boys decide that it's time to exact their revenge on the doctors that separated them. Death to all of them. They decide they're gonna go on their killing spree, and that is kind of what brings us back to present day. Casey, because again, she's a real one, is helping Dwayne get back to his hotel room. She's like holding him up. She makes sure he gets in bed. She even tucks him in night-night. Snug as a bug in a rug. My parents always used to say that to me, and when I'm really cozy, I still think of that. I love this product. These are the Hourglass Unreal Liquid Blushes. Love these. They're great. Love this blush. This packaging is boo-boo poo-poo bullshit. This is the shade Vision. Love her. So I want to use this shade, right? And you're probably thinking, oh, it's like a pump or you squeeze it. No, you don't. So it's got this little dropper and you have to push the bottom to get the product out. But as you might be able to see, there's a hole in that. There's a snake in my boob. I dug through it because I have nails. Hi, I'm me. And my nail popped right through. And now anytime I push on it, it like goops out and it gets under my nails and it wastes the product. I'm just saying, Hourglass, you popped off with this formula. The blush is gorgeous. I'll continue to use it. This packaging needs to hit the bricks because it's fucking terrible and it pisses me off. Anyway, that's my little makeup rant for the day. I'm gonna try to get this out. That's all I got out, and it's gooey and like it's so liquidy. You really have to push to get it out. I also decided I'm gonna mix that blush with this little ColourPop liquid highlight. I'm gonna mix them together because I really want like a very glowy look today. So I'm just gonna kind of take those, mix them, customize my own little shade here. Yeah, it's like a pearl color that will do quite nicely. It's a beautiful formula. The component is wacky. I feel like they were trying to be like fun and different, but why couldn't we just have a pump? Anyways, Casey gets Dwayne back to his hotel room again. She's a real one, and Belial thinks so too. He decides he's gonna go see the world for himself. Kind of sneaks out of his basket. He scoots along the floor. He's heading over to Casey's hotel room, where he kind of tries to put the moves on her. Little does she know. Casey crawls into bed. She's ready to hit the hay, you know, after a long night of boozing it up with Dwayne and listening to what she thinks is just a crazy story, but is really, in all actuality, the truth. She gets in bed and Belial has a little adventure of his own. Yeah, Belial low-key a perv, dude. Listen, I know you've had a hard life, Belial, but you can't just go groping every smiley face t-shirt clad tit that you find. That's not how the world works. Predictably, Casey gets pretty freaked out. She starts screaming. She's like, something's in my bed. It's trying to get me. Can you imagine living in this hotel? Like, there's all kinds of crazy going on. People are screaming. Belial's over here stealing Casey's panties. I hate the word panties. Can't believe I just said that, but he steals her thong or whatever. He's got him in his little basket. You know, he's saving him for a rainy day, I guess. The next day, our little duo heads out to find Dr. Cutter to complete their little mission. They find out that she's a veterinarian too, which also kind of adds like more insult to injury here, I feel. Dwayne and Dr. Cutter have a super robotic conversation.
Tell me about your cat. You said on the phone he's badly cut.
Yes, on his side.
Okay, let's take him into the next room.
It just seems like maybe her lines were dubbed over or something in post. Listen, I'm obviously not a film expert. I'm just a girl wearing a shitload of makeup, talking to myself for several hours. Dwayne kind of tells Dr. Cutter who he is. She basically calls him and Belial like a freak. Like, she's just being really nasty. And Belial obviously does not take that well. And of course, Dr. Cutter asks the age-old question.
What's in the basket?
Boy, does she find out. We get a very prolonged, I guess you could call it a fight scene. I don't really know what else you'd call this. Dr. Cutter truly lives up to her name when Belial shoves her face into a drawer of medical torture instruments, it seems like. We get a shot of her screaming, and Belial and Dwayne head out. And Dr. Cutter's fate is left kind of ambiguous, I guess. I assume she dies from this, but they don't show her dying technically, so I don't know. I know. Belial usually murders people with his bare hands, but I guess this time they just didn't cut it. So after the murder question mark, it's never confirmed, the boys head back to the good old Motel Hell. Wait a minute, it's the wrong movie. Dwayne runs into Sharon, who's totally wigging out. So she's freaking out because they found Dr. Needleman's body. They made her identify the body. I don't know why. Like, maybe he just had no one else in his life. That's low-key kind of sad that his secretary had to come in and identify his body. She does mention, too, that she didn't like him either. So it's like, damn, Needleman must have been a piece of shit, huh? I mean, it seemed like he was. He was kind of creepy.
Take off your shirt, step in there, have a seat.
Anyway, she's freaking out. She's really trying to trauma bond with Dwayne at this point. And that makes sense because, you know, they've hung out one time. They've hung out once.
And I don't know why I've been thinking of you, but it's all I did. I've been thinking of you all day.
Damn, I don't like to use the word clingy because, you know, we've all been that girl, right? Where it's like, oh, my ex, she's so clingy. And you know what? Frankly, some of us, me, in the past may have been clingy, but this is a huge red flag. You've known him for like 2 days. Good God, girl, get a grip. Clearly, Sharon's a little unhinged. Suddenly the wig makes sense, right? Well, Dwayne decides that he likes the drama, or maybe this is just the first woman who's ever really talked to him, who can say, but he decides to let her in, and they start, you know, heading to Pound Town. But remember who we got in the basket over here. Panty sniffing Belial ain't having it. He starts freaking out. He's just going hog wild.
Take me, Dwayne.
Dwayne is like holding Sharon down for some reason because she sees Belial and she's like, what the fuck is going on? You know, as any of us would think. She's like freaking out. And for some reason, Dwayne, rather than just keep her calm in a normal way, he just wraps Sharon up in a blanket and just throws her into the hallway. Her head like hits the wall and everything. He locks the door, doesn't communicate with her beyond telling her like go away. I don't even know if he tells her to go away. I think he just starts yelling at Belial. Yeah, I don't know why it was necessary for him to just whip her at the wall. Obviously, Sharon has a really, really rational response to this whole thing though. Okay, we are about to be in the home stretch. I just gotta get another highlighter to like go on top of this because you know I like to layer. I think I'm gonna use this YSL one. I just want to be really glowy. Ooh, pretty. Well, Dwayne snoozes that night. You know, he's gotta take a load off. It's been a rough day for him. Well, he snoozes that night. He has this really weird dream of him running down the streets of New York City, just buck-ass naked, hanging full frontal. Yes, we see a penis, which is odd for a horror movie. It's usually tits everywhere. We do see that pretty regularly. I just feel like we don't often see men, you know, dropping trow in these movies. So good for the actor who plays Dwayne. Good for him. So Dwayne is running through the streets of New York City, and then he realizes that this is not a dream. It's a telepathic communication between him and Belial. Because while Dwayne was a snoozin' Susan, Belial snuck out of his little basket to go on a little midnight romp, if you will. We get another lovely little stop motion Belial moment. Somehow he figures out where Sharon lives. I don't know how. I guess he maybe like reads Dwayne's mind or something. He heads off to pay a little visit to our girl Sharon, who is very committed, even wears the wig to bed. Dwayne is too late to get there, unfortunately. When he gets there, I hope I put a trigger warning in for this, but Belial is essentially like assaulting Sharon, which I did not think was necessary. I really wish they would have just left this out of the movie, because it kind of would have made me like more sympathetic to Belial. Yeah, he's literally on top of her while she's sleeping. She wakes up to this sight. I don't get why his eyes are red here. Like, why are his eyes glowing red? Is that something he does when he's like about to, you know, unload? I don't know, but he kills Sharon, which I feel like, again, unnecessary. She literally did nothing to him. Like, Belial, the fuck, man. Dwayne gets there just in time to see his new little homegirl get eviscerated. I don't really get how she dies. Belial just kind of like touches her face with his hands, and then there's blood, and then she's dead. So I don't really know what's going on there, but Dwayne's pissed. He grabs Belial, he throws him in the basket, he's screaming at him. They're fighting as they head back to their little motel room. Motel manager again is like, dude, what's going on? Like, it's loud as fuck, because they're just loud. Dwayne, he just has like no sense of other people, I guess. They're used to living alone, so I guess that makes sense, but when you live around other people, you gotta be respectful. They get back to the motel, they're fighting. It beats me how they're still allowed to even live at this place when there's like all of these noise violations and a suspiciously timed murder going on, but hey, I just work here.
I don't even run the place. Why should anybody tell me anything?
Our nosy neighbors and our motel manager walk in just in time to see Belial basically attack Dwayne out of the window. Jumps at him or whatever this is. The brothers dramatically dangle out the side of the window. Belial's holding on for dear life with his strong hand. He's holding on, trying to hold both of them up. The sex workers below notice the commotion and give a really realistic performance here.
Ah! Oh, what's that? Oh, girls, look at that. What is that? Oh, no. Oh, wait, no, where's my daddy's chair?
But alas, the brothers fall to their death, and the movie ends with Dwayne and Belial bleeding out in the street, surrounded by all of their nosy neighbors and the motel manager and the sex workers that gave such a compelling performance at the end there. So that is Basket Case. Pretty interesting tale, I would say, right? I mean, what the fuck did we just watch? I gotta say, this felt more like an art piece than like a film that was meant to be seen by the masses. And if you watch interviews with the creator of this film, Frank Henenlotter, he kind of talks about how he knew people weren't gonna see it, but he was kind of wrong in that way, because this is kind of like a cult classic. And I can see why. It's a very interesting film, very bizarre, but with a lot of heart. I made a lot of fun of the wigs, the stop motion, all of that stuff, but I kind of like the homemade feel of this movie, actually. I found it to be quite fun. I mean, they literally had a budget of $35,000. They did what they could. And I think they could have done a lot worse with that tiny of a budget. I mean, have you ever seen the movie Blood Sand?
No! Oh, shit! Oh, no! Oh, God! Oh, please!
Enough said. Thanks, Mitchell Musso, for giving us that incredible performance. With the lips, I tried to give kind of like Casey's lip combo that she wears. It's not really my cup of tea to do like a warm, glossy lip, but sure, I mean, it is what it is. Even though Belial is a murderer and he's super creepy, he was a very sympathetic character until the end, at least. And I really wish they would have just left that whole assault thing with him and Sharon out, and the like weird panty raid with Casey. They could have left that out, and I would have preferred it, because Belial felt as a very sympathetic character. Like, I did feel for him. I was like, damn, dude's been going through a lot. And after that, it was really hard to sympathize with him. I feel like I would have felt worse for him if that hadn't just happened. So that was kind of a bummer. I also feel like Belial's appearance is clearly a mess, but I kind of love it. Like, it kind of works in a way. Like, this gritty backdrop, this sleazy motel, the slimy characters, like Belial's appearance, it just kind of fits into that world in a way. I didn't really hate it as much as I thought I would. I usually would complain a lot more about the effects, but for this movie, it does make sense. I really enjoyed Casey's character. I know I mentioned that already, but she infused a lot of humor into the movie. She was just a class act, wasn't she? Like, don't you want to hang out with her? Because I do.
I've got some heavy boozing to do. It looks like you can use some good company. Come on.
I really enjoyed her character, and I was glad that they gave us somebody to root for, because a lot of times in these movies I find that there's no character to root for. Well, this time we got a real one, and I was happy about that. But again, with the budget they had, they could have done a lot worse. Besides the stop motion, that was kind of garbage, but I'm still gonna give this movie 3 pumpkins on my little pumpkin scale, mostly because of the heart that it had. It's got an interesting story and a wacky execution, and it did not bore me once, so I don't have too many complaints. I can't give it any higher than that because of the, you know, obvious budget situation, but it is what it is. I wasn't mad at it, and I can see why it's a cult classic. Anyway, that is it for me today. What do we think about Basket Case? I'd love to see your comments down below. Belial, did you feel bad for him? What were your thoughts about his life in general? I feel like there's a lot of conversations to be had with this one, and it's not really something that I want to go into because I am not a qualified expert on the topic of twins, but I will say I've learned one thing from this film, and it's this: twins are kind of weird. So thank you for watching Beauty and B Movies with me, Pale Kale. Let me know what you think about this look down below. I know it's a little more simple than what I usually go for. Again, I think I was pretty honest about the fact that I had no plan today, but I wanted to be kind of golden bronzed, glowy. I think I did achieve that. I think I could have done better too, but let's be kind. Let me know what you think down below about the movie review, the look, and the movie itself, Basket Case. And until next time, I'm Pale Kale. Thanks for watching. Bye.